You got it, sis. Okay, I'm trying to find mine.
What's up, everybody? We're here live at Florida Live on the YouTube channel. This week's episode, we're talking all about the housing market because there's a lot of headlines that are just absolutely scary. Inventory's climbing. Is the bubble here? Have we already seen the bubble? Myself, Aimee, and Michele will be diving into all of that here in just a moment. But first, if this is your first time tuning in, my name's Larkin, and I'm a real estate agent here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. And besides doing regular videos like this, I also help people buy and sell real estate. So if you're planning a move here in the Cocoa Beach area, I'm here to help. And if you're thinking of moving elsewhere like Boca Raton, Palm Beach, or anywhere else in the state, one of the three of us will be able to help you out. So,
Hi.
How's everyone tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Oh, things are good. It was kind of a hectic day here in the Cocoa Beach area. Had a listing that actually went live. It was a coming soon for the last 3 weeks that the owner who's out of the area has been trying to get stuff done remotely. And I knew that the painter that he had hired was sick. And I found out today he's been in the hospital. It's like half the house was painted and there was things that I needed to clean. Yeah. So unfortunately for him, the painter's in the hospital and he should be out here soon. So I'm hoping that he's feeling better and recovers very well. It's just a little hiccup in regards to the marketing, which, that's a small thing as opposed to somebody's health. That's certainly more important than anything.
That's right.
It happened.
So how are you two doing?
Good. Just feeling like I'm still on my high from Monday, from the fantastic agent show that Michele put on, and definitely feeling still on top of the world. I want to stay there.
Yeah, and for those of you who are not in the real estate world, all three of us are real estate agents. All three of us work for Real Brokers, and there was an event that went on in Orlando in Altamont Springs called No Agent Left Behind Mastermind, where Matt Middlestat from Texas, this is a roadshow he's been doing. He asked to do it here in Florida. Michele just kind of took the bull by the horns to get things set up, and it was an all-day affair in Orlando. There was 11 speakers. Agents from across the state of Florida and across the country were there learning and also providing their wealth of knowledge, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
I'm still like, it was just an amazing day, and it wasn't just that day because we kind of came in a day early, and then on Tuesday some of us had breakfast and brunch, and it was just a fantastic collaboration of agents from all brokerages coming together. We had close to 125 agents at the event. Yeah.
And it was the information that was shared was awesome. It was content marketing. It was mind strength. It was like all three of us. Well, I don't know about you, Aimee, but I know Michele and I were solo agents. So we had Ken Pozak was the end speaker, and he talked about building a team and some of the behind the scenes things that he does. And it was kind of cool.
I think one of the things if you're not an agent watching this, to understand is that if you're thinking of listing your house, you're working with an agent, you want to work with agents that are staying on top of what's going on in the market, what kind of marketing techniques are working, who know other agents to refer you to. And I think that's the takeaway for the consumer tonight on the show is you just need to know. I mean, let's be real honest here. How many of us are looking at listings on the MLS in a shifting market, and we're seeing the most horrendous photos? It's really bad. Like, I know when I've been with some buyers lately and I'm looking at properties, and I feel bad for the sellers because the marketing is not there. But then on the flip side, sellers, you need to see your listing and you need to be checking on your listing.
That is the truth. Yeah. And then, looking at some of the headlines that are happening out there, if you were to do a Google search like this, is the housing market going to crash? I mean, there's 18,000 people that have searched it in the last 30 days. So it certainly is a concern. And most of the headlines like Bankrate, is it about to crash? Is the housing market going to crash with Ramsey's solution? So the headlines are scary out there on what is happening. But the reality is that all three of us can be talking about and sharing a little bit. That's what the whole point of this conversation is tonight, is what's actually happening. I mean, how's your inventory today compared to 6 months ago?
It's up.
Up. Aimee, you too?
It's up.
Yep. I know, like for me in Cocoa Beach, our inventory, we started the year around 900 properties for the entire county. And as of this morning, it's up to 2,200. So that is like a 200% increase of where it was at just the first of the year.
Yeah.
How about your sold properties? And I'm going somewhere with this. How was your sold properties the last couple months compared to last year or even earlier in the year? Do you know about, just guessing where the numbers might have been?
They're down.
They're down.
All
But
right.
not by much.
Yeah,
No.
just a little bit. Like inventory is
No.
definitely up big time. Sales are down like 9 or 10%, something
Yeah.
along those lines. But how about new properties coming on the market? How's the influx of actual new inventory, not new construction, but just new houses or condos coming on the market compared to other times?
You mean how long are
Now, like
Yeah.
how many new homes are coming on the market?
there's more? There's
Yeah.
definitely
Oh
more.
yeah, definitely. I'm looking at, just an FYI, like I'm looking at the Beaches MLS, and they have June out. We're waiting on July numbers. So pending sales was down 34.4%. New listings was up 25.9%. And the percentage of original list price received was there was a 16.1% change down. Excuse me, pardon me. Percentage of original list price received was 98.1% in 2021. It's 98%. So, even in June, the sellers were still getting top dollar. I believe that's if the property is priced properly, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I did just Palm Beach Gardens to share that because I knew Michele and I were going to have the same ones in Palm Beach County. And so just to share in the northern, just for one city, the active listings from month to month are up by 25%, 26%.
Yeah.
From this month versus last month. And then as far as the new listings, they're up by 9.3%.
Okay.
Averaging month to month, like July of this time last year and this month, this year.
So is this kind of detrimental, do you think, or is it just kind of a little bump that we're having, a slight adjustment?
My feelings, we're having an adjustment. I also think, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, we typically in a normal market, right? In a normal market pre-COVID, this would typically be our slower times, right? All the J months, and typically a bit slower in the summertime, right?
Okay.
So I am feeling like we are getting more listings. It's a little bit wonky, but I also know that we're starting to see more of that season come back around. And I feel like for us up in the northern Palm Beach County specifically, that once it, September, October, these sales and these prices and these homes that are coming onto the market, it's going to pick right back up and we're going to see a huge change in a good way.
Okay.
That's what
cool. And Michael Rappaport, he is a real estate agent out in Phoenix. I know him because of the BNI network is how we're connected. So thank you for tuning in, Michael. And he says that in Phoenix, he's seeing similar trends from what we're talking about here. And I know, let's see what Zachary's name is. Zachary Faust. He's a real estate agent up in Delaware, big TikToker and Instagrammer. He was talking about his market trends this morning about how things aren't going to crash. and the media is blowing this all out of proportion. And I kind of explained to him what's happening with our inventory. We're having a slight bump up in inventory. Some new listings are coming, but our actual amount of properties for sale, we have less than a 2-month supply. So he's seeing the same thing up in Delaware. Michael just said he's got similar trends there in the Phoenix area, and I think all three of us just said something similar as well.
Yeah.
So for those who are curious, this is how we kind of keep an eye on the market. So seller's market has always been under a 4-month supply. Balanced market is between the 4 to 6 months, and buyer's market is anything over a 6-month supply. And how we figure that out is if we have 3,000 properties on the market and we sell 1,000 properties that month, you do the math and that comes out to a 3-month supply. And that's all it is that we're talking about. Right now here in Brevard County, our active inventory is just under 2,200. And for the month of July, we sold 1,146 properties, which when you do the math, that's still under a 2-month supply. So we're at a 1.9 month supply here, Brevard County as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So it's changing, but nothing crazy.
Well, our inventory, like right now, compared to a year ago, we're at about 2.8%, 2.8 months of inventory versus 1.5 months. So it's starting to creep up. The one thing I can say is sellers have been more cooperative as far as negotiations and also on price.
Yeah.
I'm seeing buyers asking for sellers to contribute towards their closing costs, and they're getting it. So that's certainly a good sign of somewhat of a shift because, houses are on the market just a little bit longer, a little bit more competition out there, and it's helping the seller stand out when they negotiate those type of things.
So in my town here, last year, this month, the new listings, there were 204 new listings. This year, same month, 223.
Wow. And that's Palm Beach Gardens, right?
That's Gardens.
Okay. Good deal.
But again, I feel like we are in that sort of off season, right? Like we're definitely going to see, and I think that's why people are getting a little bit nervous because they're going, oh my goodness, maybe they're staying on the market a little bit longer. But don't forget, we always had a summer slowdown. Always. We've always had that.
Not so much here. Usually January and February are usually typically the two slowest months of the year. Yeah. March, April, May, it really starts picking up. From June, July through August, it's like full steam. And then we taper off towards the end of the year. But this past July, our sales was one of the slowest Julys we've seen in 5 or 6 years in regards to total volume that's closing. So it's kind of interesting to see exactly what's going on. Really quick, Michael, thank you for the comments. Looks like Arizona's gone, or Phoenix has gone from a 3-week supply to a 3-month supply in the last 90 days. And prices have declined by about 3.5%. And that's over the last 3 months. And got a shout out here, Gina Watkins. How are you doing? Thank you very much for tuning in. Gina and I went to school together, so I appreciate when friends I know that come in and tune in on this. So thanks a lot, Gina. Hope you and David are doing well. Let's see, where are we going on that? So help me out here. I just drew a blank.
We're just talking about.
Sorry, I muted here. Being a jerk.
Brody, he knows you're going live.
No, it was Benny. The rest.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael says that September and October are their slowest months. Okay.
Interesting.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
So many people here.
I don't know, Michele. What do you think down in Boca? I feel like south of Palm Beach County and the northern Palm Beach County are very similar in regards to seasonality, right?
Yeah.
I feel like ours picks up big time. I would say
November, December, January.
October through, I would say March. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think what we've come off of is it was very consistently busy almost every month, except I tend to be a little slower in January too. I do try to encourage people who are thinking of buying to buy before the end of the year so they can get their homestead in order, right? Just the January buy. But sometimes it's just a little slurry coming off the holidays and people don't want to spend money, blah, 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 blah. So that's probably part of it. But with the migration to Florida, which we talked about last week, what did you say, Eric? 1,000 people were moving into the state daily?
Yep, daily.
Mhm.
1,000 people.
Daily. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens, obviously, with weather patterns. That first snowstorm, we always like get people wanting to like kind of look and see if maybe it's time for them to come down here. We also have the business migrations coming all over the state of Florida, not just South Florida.
Got it. So, the migrations definitely happen, and we're still seeing it from people who are able to work remotely. And then here in Brevard County, we got a big influx because of the Space Center. We've got Blue Origin's bringing in a ton of people. We've got SpaceX is bringing in a ton of people, and that's not even counting what is happening at the southern end of the county with L3 Harris, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, and those type of companies that are here.
Oh yeah, for sure. As a matter of fact, I was watching. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I can pull it up. It was on Instagram, and I was telling Kylie. Let me see if I can pull it up. There was a video, and I don't know if it was who it was, Broke Agent or somebody, was showing that some of the top housing markets for equity, 4 or 5 of them were in Florida. Miami, West Palm, Cape Coral, Northport. There was 4 of them. I might be missing one. So there you go. And we're all over the place. That's not just South Florida or,
Talking about equity, I always like to track and keep an eye on what's happening, like with the median prices, so you can see year over year. This past July, we had the median sales price for all of Brevard County of those 1,100 plus properties was $350,000, and last year's median price was $300,000. So that's like a 15% increase over last year's median price. So that's telling me still where the trends are going on values here in Brevard County. Even though sales are down some, the values are still holding at this particular point.
Yep. Our median sale price, are you doing median listing price or sale price?
Sales price. Listing price, I don't pay that much attention to.
Yeah, our median sale price this month is about $750,000, and last year was $475,000.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
And that's with the 220 or so properties that were for sale, or is that active, or what had sold last month approximately?
This is average sale price.
Okay.
I'm sorry, median sale price.
And how many properties typically sell in a month in Palm Beach Gardens?
That's a great question.
That's a good question.
Yeah, let me go back and look. I will say this is interesting. So the average cumulative days on market this month, 28 days.
Okay, that's good.
Right? Last year, in July, 27.
Oh, so they're even Steven.
Yeah.
So it's taken about the same amount of time to sell a property this year versus last year, and last year was absolutely hectic. This year, thanks to the interest rates, it's kind of tapped the brakes a little bit, but you're still seeing pretty good pace.
Well, also to that point, year to date, let's look at this. Year to date, 23 average, 2021, 53.
Okay.
That's year to date.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Less this year, cumulative days on market than. That's interesting.
It's a very interesting market. And like we all say, our crystal ball is foggy on a good day.
Yeah. And some of the reason I think we're seeing this big increase, this is just kind of new properties over the last year and a half or so. Right here, where this peak is going up for the last 3 months, actually going back and looking over like 5 years worth of data, we haven't had this many properties come on 3 months back to back to back ever. So we broke 2,000 the last 2 months, and it was over 1,900 properties coming on the market here. So tie that into just a little bit of a slowdown, and that's another reason why we're seeing the increase here, at least Brevard County.
So I'm going to show you something from Realtor.com here. Let's see if I can find it.
Bye, Michael.
I don't know if I can.
Hey, Michael, I appreciate you tuning in very much. Hope things are going well with you out in Phoenix. We'll see you around, man.
Can you see
Michael?
this?
Hold on, I'll get your screen up there.
Okay.
So do you guys know Michael or not?
I don't. Hi, Michael.
No.
Nice to meet you.
All right.
Thanks, Michael, for coming.
And for the comments, most definitely. He's big
Yes.
on LinkedIn, and like I said, I know him through the BNI circle.
There you
I
go.
love BNI.
Givers gain, housing market third quarter.
The Realtor.com inventory forecast made a sharp change in course from the beginning of the year to now, going from just 0.03% rise in inventory to the current prediction of 15% jump in the for sale housing stock. That was just very recent, FYI. The other piece here, like bank rate, has rates may stabilize, but prices remain high. So the third quarter of the year has brought a few surprises to the housing market so far. So there you go. Housing market slowing down. Traditionally, the summer months that comprise most of Q3 are characterized by slower home buying activity than Q2. But it appears we can anticipate a third quarter return to seasonal form in 2022.
Interesting.
So there you go. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of good information out there. I think if you dig into like bank rate, like Realtor.com, like National Association of Realtors, because they're not hysterical. They're very number driven, and there's always a silver lining, right, to any market though. So that's the thing that we just always have to make sure we as agents are sharing with the general public.
Yep. So do you know where interest rates are at right now? Let's see. Hold on a second. I got it.
I know didn't they tick down a little bit last week?
Freddie Mac, I like keeping up on this website here because granted, this is a national average, so it could be different here in Florida versus Albuquerque, but 30-year fix is low 5%. 15-year ARM is about 4.5 and 4.43. So it did pull back a little bit. It's not in the high fives anymore. It's in the low fives. Yeah. So that's, again, I think it's just buyers they're getting comfortable with the higher rate versus where it was at 6 months ago. As you can see by the graph, it's always changing what the interest rates are, but I don't see them really pulling back to the 3.5% rates that we've seen in the past.
Nope.
So what are you recommending to buyers who are calling you wanting to get into this market, thinking, should they wait, or is this a good time for them to consider moving into it and really looking to buy a house?
I would say if they have the funds for it, if they have the finances, right? If they are absolutely in the market to purchase, don't wait, because a lot of people are saying, well, I'm just going to wait for the market to crash. They're ready to go. So I never want to tell people buy now. If you're not ready, you're not ready, right? But don't wait. If you're ready now, don't wait. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Michele, you got.
I think the other thing is too, is that there's no guarantee what's going to happen with these interest rates. And so if you're ready to buy, you can't, predict the market. We saw everybody try and do that in 2008. And you know what? Nobody was right. Higher rates also, they definitely limit buyer power. So at the end of the day, get your ducks in a row and be ready for that home that you want to buy. Everybody has different circumstances as to why they're buying anyway. So know why you're buying and, make that decision. The other thing is rents are continuing to rise. So, you're really getting priced out on this rental stuff. It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And I say similar things when I'm talking with somebody as well. It's talk to the bank, get qualified to see what your payment would be, what payment you're aiming for, what you're comfortable with, and then we can see what's available in regards to houses or condos to see what makes sense.
Right.
And then also see what their long-term plan is. Do they think, will this house just take care of them for the next couple of years? Would they consider then if they moved into maybe a little smaller property where the numbers made a little more sense for the next 2 or 3 years, build up the equity in that, and then go shopping again in 3 years, maybe make this one a rental property, because rental properties have been a shortage here for the last 5 or 6 years. And as Michele just said, rental prices are always going up. So it could be a good option for you.
My daughter's rent was raised.
It happens,
Yeah.
My mom's currently renting where she's at, and every time she has to sign the new lease, it goes up just a little bit.
Yeah. So we're talking some strategies for like next year.
Cool.
She's young, but still it's, she's interested in doing something. So we're going to figure it out.
Awesome.
We didn't raise our rent on our tenants. We didn't raise it.
I didn't either when I had my place either, through 2020.
I'll tell you why. They're awesome. So depending upon what everything looks like next year. But for right now, we just kind of, we kept it. They're great. They're great tenants. When you find good people,
Sounds good. And really quick, if there's anybody who's watching who has any questions for us, please drop them in the comments. Even if you're watching this on the replay, if you drop your questions in the comments, we will come back and answer them either in the comments again, or we'll bring them up on the next show. And if you drop your comments while we're here live, we'll be more than happy to answer whatever questions you might have. And we always appreciate you tuning in too. Regards to the tenants and raising rent, you still have to be a good steward of your property and your investment as well. It's good that you were cautious or conscious of your tenant who's been good to you over the last year or 2 years, however long they've been there. But as a landlord and an investor, you still got to look at the numbers every time it comes around for an increase, just to see where things are at.
That's right.
Case, right?
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Cool. So
agreed. So I know one of the things that I don't deal with as much as some of you guys do, but what about new construction?
Oh, do you have much of that in Palm Beach Gardens or your area, Aimee, or am I the fortunate one that has a ton of new construction happening?
Did I just go? Am I like still on here? I'm not sure what happened. My screen
here.
I can see you. I can hear you.
Okay. I can't see you guys, but what was your question?
I was asking to see if you had new construction. Michele was asking what's happening with new construction in the area.
I feel like a lot of my clients that were vying for that new construction and they were on a holding pattern. Mm-hmm. The new construction is now calling them and saying, "Hey, come back.
100%.
So you decide what that means.
If you've been thinking about new construction, or you've always bought new construction and you just put it off because the last 2 years of craziness with having to get in a raffle to try and bid, or they're asking for highest and best and it's going 50, 60 grand over where it was listed at. Right now is a good time to start reconsidering new construction because their buyer pipeline has kind of dried up. They're having some folks cancel contracts and walk away 3 or 4 months into it. Yep. So builders are offering incentives if you're buying a property. I know the 4 big builders here are Holiday, Lennar, D.R. Horton, Adams Homes. They do a lot of building here for like the entry and mid-level type properties. And they're all offering $4,000, $6,000, $8,000 towards your closing costs. As a realtor perspective, a lot of times, like Lennar Homes, for example, really compressed the commission where they weren't offering very much at all. It was a 1% commission if we worked and brought a buyer into their marketplace. They're now bringing that up to 3%. I'm talking with somebody right now, and that was a conversation I had with the Lennar representative.
Mhm.
And there's even some DR Horton communities that are offering 4% and more incentives to buyers too. So if new construction is a possibility, then it would be a good time to have a conversation about that too.
Yes.
So Quintana Maji, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. It wasn't my intention. Eric, do you sell in Melbourne or just the Cocoa area? Excellent question. Thank you for tuning in and for popping that on there. I work all of Brevard County. So that's Melbourne, that's Cocoa Beach, Palm Bay, Titusville, Merritt Island, and anywhere in between. So if there's some questions about making a move here in Brevard County, either drop it in the comments or we can talk after the show. Thank you very much. So what is your question?
There you go. No question yet. But if you
Not
have
yet.
one,
So
you can answer
perfect.
it.
Thank you. Yeah, happy to help. I mean, that's what I'm here to do. You know, if you've got questions about making a move, whether you're buying or selling, I'm here to answer your questions to make certain that you are making the right decision for you and your family. And that's the most important thing in my eyes.
There you go. I know that I was asking Eric last week about pricing on some single family homes based compared to, say, Hollywood, Florida. And so I could see that there's a big difference of affordability. It's pretty expensive down this way. And, you definitely have some good price points if you want to share them.
Yeah. So it depends on where you're at in regards to what the price points are. I know like the north and the south end of the county. So you got Palm Bay is the biggest city here in Brevard County. That's probably has the biggest range of price points available. You can find the search I did for Michele's potential buyer under $250,000. There's 100 homes for them to choose from. So under certainly a lot of options in Palm Bay. There's probably some options in the Melbourne area and some of the older homes, and definitely at the north end of the county in Port St. John and Titusville, there's some under $250,000 options too. If you're looking to move into some of the more popular areas like Vieira is where most of the new construction is being built. It's hard to find something under $500,000 in the Vieira area, but there are some exceptions. Like there's a few properties that have come on the market. And if you're looking for new construction in that particular area, the 55 and up community starts at about $400,000. And then if you're looking in West Vieira with Vieira Builders, you're looking to spend $500,000, $600,000, $800,000, depending on the neighborhood and floor plan. Let's see. Oh, no questions at the moment for me. Totally wait until probably the beginning of 2023. Well, something I could recommend while you're waiting, if you haven't had a conversation with a lender, have that conversation now, because even though you might see what your credit score is on like Credit Karma or some of the free sites that are out there, it's not a true picture of what your credit might be. And if you talk to a lender, let them pull your credit, they will see exactly where you're at. They'll look at the 3 scores that you have, and they might see if there's any issues that could keep you from getting a mortgage. And it'd be a good time now to give yourself the 3 to 6 months to work on getting that corrected, as opposed to July or January ready to go and find out you have some issues and you got to wait a few months too. Oh, you're a cash buyer. So that's the next comment there.
And there you go.
Never mind.
Never mind. The church lady. Never mind.
That's funny. So, well, actually, cash buyers, how often are you seeing cash buyers in your areas? That's a good segue. Thank you.
Frequently. Thanks. Frequently. I had a closing recently. It was cash. I have another closing coming up that's not cash. It's lender. But you know what? They waived the appraisal. There's an appraisal waiver.
Excellent.
Yeah. It's like,
so
what?
That's always a bonus when that happens. It's one less thing on the checklist you have to worry about.
Yeah.
So here's a quick shot. You know, I'm a spreadsheet kind of geek. So this is 2021. You can see here cash versus conventional versus FHA and VA. Cash is probably 25% of the sales that happen. You know, we did almost 1,200 sales last month, and 380 of them were cash.
Okay.
Conventional still king, and then VA and FHA makes up about 18 or 20% of the sales.
And we had a great speaker and sponsor at the No Agent Left Behind Orlando Mastermind, Bruce Woodburn from Cross Country Mortgage.
The loan arranger.
The loan arranger. Oh my God, what a great guy. But he went over the Hometown Heroes program. Oh, and they just added something to the Hometown Heroes. Was it trainers? They did something. They added something new. It just came out. But it was, it's such a good program that we have here in Florida. But to Bruce's point, he said, well, there's programs across the country like this. So if you are a first responder and you're wanting to buy a home, talk to one of us about Hometown Hero program. That is just fantastic.
Yeah, it definitely is a good program. Your money goes a little further with that because of the way it's set up and structured.
Yep. So that was really a good presentation. And also too, those VA, well, FHA homeowners who are thinking of selling may have gotten their FHA loans at a very favorable rate. And that is an assumable mortgage. You still have to qualify.
Yep.
But it's an assumable mortgage. So
that could be a pretty good option if you're trying to sell to maybe get a little higher price because you're letting the buyer assume the mortgage and getting that lower rate. So it could be a good trade-off with that.
Yeah. So that's kind of a little hack for you guys.
Excellent. So I made a note here about appraisals. I think one of the two of you had mentioned it in comment. Have you been working with buyers or listings that have had to have appraisals besides the appraisal waivers? What do you see happening with the appraisals versus contract price?
Mine have been fine.
Yeah,
mine have been okay.
Good. So you haven't had any come in short?
No.
How about coming in over? I'm actually seeing a lot lot of that. I've been
seeing yes.
Mm-hmm. I've got 3 buyers right now that are getting loans, so there's appraisal involved with it. One was a higher end listing that came in $100,000 over contract price.
Yeah.
One was a more middle tier one that came in 30 over, and then the other one we're still waiting on. But here I got 3 in the chute that we're working on, and all 2 of the 3 anyway had higher ones. And prior to that, the last couple months, 3 appraisals straight came in $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 higher than what the contract price was. So it's a kind of a good shift, especially for the buyers knowing that they're walking in with equity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sold something in July and the appraisal came in almost 40,000 higher.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations to that buyer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. So there, it happens. But the good news is if an appraisal comes in lower, the sellers are more apt to want to work on negotiating it. Whereas before it was like, forget it, take it or leave it.
Correct.
And then going back to mentioning the VA, a benefit of working with the VA loans, if there is an appraisal issue, usually the underwriter will come back and let us know that there is an issue, and we can do a Tidewater report to prove our stance on the contract value, to let them know this is where the listing agent listed the price for, these are the comps that they were used, and these are the comps that we used to help support the contract price. And a lot of times they'll see that we put thought into it, and there's not an issue with the appraisal, but they like to give us a heads up ahead of time just in case. And I think that's an awesome benefit of the VA loan.
Definitely. There's a lot of good pieces out there for buyers right now, but it's still a good market for sellers too.
Heck yeah. So what are some things, I know we spoke a little bit at the beginning, if you have sellers that are about to list their home for sale, what are some things that you've been telling them to help get them ready and to anticipate what to expect with the marketplace? Is there some particular conversations that you're having?
Yeah, if your roof is older, you better see if a new buyer can get insurance. Seriously,
Yep.
It's no joke. We have an insurance crisis going on in the state of Florida right now, and it's pretty bad. If your roof's 15 years or older, they're screwing us right now. That's the best way I can put it. This is a really serious situation. We know these roofs have life left in them, but because so many of the insurance companies have gone out of business or are insolvent, it's creating a problem for home sellers, because if a buyer has a contingency on getting insurance, which would be a loan contingency, right? Typically, and they can't get insurance, or the insurance is so extraordinarily high that it throws the numbers off for their PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. We got a problem, folks. So I strongly suggest that you start contacting the powers that be, because it's very difficult in some cases. I know I had to temporarily take a property off the market because they're going to have to get a new roof.
Yep.
And
So
it's taking 6 months to get a roof.
Can I tell you guys a funny story?
We could use a little laughter now after talking about insurance.
Okay, let me tell you this funny story. I have to preface it with the start of this showing that I had. So it was last week, actually. I meet my buyers there at this house, and the selling agent, this also goes along with who you hire matters, right? You can't make this stuff up. So this selling agent literally comes whipping around the corner and jumps out of her car. I mean, like, as my buyer puts it, her hair looks like it was in a nest on the top of her head, right? There's no judgment. This is my buyer's perception of this listing agent. So she comes whipping in 10, 15 minutes late, and then she can't get into the house. She has this janitorial keys. She's trying to get in. She's all disheveled. I can't get in. So she started the whole showing off with this. I said, do you mind if we walk around the back? And she goes, oh, that's a really good idea. Let me go around to the back too. She goes around, finally gets in. We take a walk around. We notice a lot of things on the side. You know, some of the siding needs to be replaced, things like that. The fascia, if you all know anything about, homes, if the fascia is rotting, that's usually a good sign that the roof needs to be replaced.
It's a flag, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a red flag. So we're looking around, we're just taking a look. Well, we get into the house, and the agent says, we're looking at this dog. We say, oh, it's so cute. She goes, oh, there's 2 dogs. Oh my gosh, the other dog got out. She goes running around looking for this dog. So this is our initial reaction to this agent, right? So now, as you can probably understand, anything that comes out of her mouth, I don't know if we're going to trust that anyways, right? So then she comes in and says, how old's the roof? This is a shingled roof. Now, shingled roofs, maybe 20 to 25 years at best. We're in Florida. Insurance companies and inspectors might give it less than that. Anything past 25 years, that's well beyond its lifetime. Tile, barrel tile, S tiles, those are a different story. But we're talking about the asphalt shingle tiles. I said, it's interesting. I noticed some of that fascia, and I was being, polite here. She goes, oh yeah, it's an original roof, 30 years old. You definitely have at least 3 to 5 years left on it.
talking to a salesperson there.
My buyer looks at me and she goes, I'm ready to go. Just like that. I'm ready to go. We go walking out. She goes, Aimee, I know nothing about houses, but you have already upfront told me before we had this conversation about the roof situation, about this, that, and the other. And that was ridiculous. I feel bad for these sellers. So 1, who you hire matters.
Yep.
2, understand how this all works and don't take it for, do your research. That's all I'm saying. Do your research, because if you have somebody that doesn't know what they're doing and then you're I mean, it's just.
Our friend Hannah out in Denver is on TikTok. And if you want to see something funny, she's Hannah_your_realtor. And she does a parody, and the parody is Peggy, the realtor, who's 300 years old. And it's hilarious. And
every stereotype that you have about a realtor that's out there, like in comedies or sitcoms, she nails in this character that she portrays as Peggy. It is
funny,
absolutely funny.
So if you guys want a good laugh and know who not to hire, you don't want Peggy. You want Hannah.
You want Peggy.
She's great.
It's funny because I met Hannah in Houston when we had the Blueprint event that Katie had put on. Yes. And she was quiet, mild-mannered. I didn't know that was my first time I met her. I didn't know about her alter egos that she had done on TikTok.
Yeah, her alter ego. And she had 58,000.
It blew me away. I was like, wow, all right. That's kind of funny.
It's hysterical. I love her. I'm always like watching her because I'm dying laughing, especially when I'm trying to get into a lockbox and it's hanging off. Like, guys, this is the stuff we deal with. I know everybody just thinks we just collect that paycheck, baby. Yeah. But I'm telling you, we can't.
We have lunches, drive nice cars, and collect money. That's all we do.
The last lockbox I had a problem with, it was hanging off of the air conditioner on the side of the house, like the air conditioner pipe, so close to the ground that I literally could not get it unlocked because.
Oh no!
This is the other thing. I say this to my clients. This is what I say. There are several things I need to share with you, but here's some important things. 1, do not judge me if I cannot get a super lockbox open and I'm waving my arm around trying to get a signal because it's so stupid. I hate Supra. 2, if you think you're going to follow me, that's fine. But if I do a U-turn, don't judge me. If Waze is off, don't judge me. Like I'm just like
we're human.
Conversations. Like I'm like, and they all start laughing, and I'm like, just wait, because one of these properties, I'm going to be like leaping up into the air trying to grab a lockbox. It's like 9,000 feet on a ledge because some tall person put it up there, So that's the stuff.
Just put the lockbox on the front door. It's so much easier.
Let me ask you guys this: why do sellers not want a lockbox on the front door, but they want? And because I talked to the agent about it, he said he doesn't want it on the front door. I said, dude, just then put it on the back door. It doesn't matter, but
it doesn't matter
as long as the key opens up the back door. Because if that lockbox is anywhere but the front door or the back door, and you've got to walk through grass and dirt in order to get to it, if it's been raining, it's going to be wet and muddy, and things are going to get tracked into the house. So think about that of easiest path to get in and out of your house to keep your house in as good a shape as possible. Because if the grass has just been mowed and we have to walk around through it and it's dewy because the sprinklers have just run, grass is going to be tracked into your house.
Yeah, it was muddy and it started.
Yeah, if it's muddy.
Good times.
Certainly.
And don't use a bunch of air fresheners in the house. We can tell.
Yep. That is true. So really quick, because we're coming up, we're about 50 minutes into this right now, because sellers still need to sell. And I know there's going to be more properties coming on the market. What's your 1 or 2 best tips that you could recommend to a seller today to help them get ready to get their houses sold?
Aimee, I'll let you start.
I'm so sorry. I was just reading a text that came through. What is your question again? Sorry.
All right. So 1 or 2 things that a seller should do in order to get their house ready for the market, just to help them get, because it's going to be more of a challenging market, and they need to make sure their home stands apart from any other home that's out there.
You know what I found, honestly? If I have a client that is looking, maybe their house is not completely updated, right? We're just talking about something that could use updates, but they don't want to spend all the money. They want to get it onto the market. The number one thing that I have said is one, declutter. Take all of your things out. I mean, like literally, if you have to shove things under your cabinets, go for it. But we're going to sell your house right away, so you might as well start packing that up. If you need to get a pod, get a storage unit, whatever the case might be, start putting those items into it. It'll make your life so much easier. One of the biggest things that I can say, as well as if you are not going to do an entire remodel on the inside, because after all, we know that people might come in and they might put their touches in. Some people don't like the grays anymore. They don't want that. Mm-hmm. They want the tans, they want this. So some of those colorings are changing over. The number one thing that I have noticed is landscaping. Landscaping is huge.
It's curb appeal.
If you have a very clean home, baseboards are clean, walls clean. If you have all of that nice and clean, and you have nice landscaping, you are going to sell that, no problem. People can kind of see a vision, because when they walk into a home, even if they don't have the updates on the inside, they're able to visually understand what they're going to do on the inside and not have to worry about the outside. Does that make sense?
Makes total sense.
That's what I would
say. I can toggle off of that really well.
Yeah.
I did a video on my YouTube channel, Michele Bellisari, and it is redoing your landscaping for like under $200.
Yes.
And literally, I have a big island and I have a circle driveway. And we pulled out a bunch of stuff and went down to the local landscaping place in Pompano Beach, which is fantastic. New turf, which is great. And picked up, I spent like $100+ on new plants.
Yeah.
And then we got mulch and I hired somebody just to plant the plants, because I couldn't do it myself, and Andy was tied up. Through the mulch, made it look brand new.
Yeah.
And you need to refresh your landscaping too. Sometimes in Florida, we have old landscaping, ficus bushes, just old crappy looking bushes. Yeah. You can, repurpose them, but make it look a little more fresh and updated. So I love what you're saying. And that includes your patio area.
Yes.
As well. Right.
And if you have old rusted furniture that's outside, throw it out. Get rid of it.
Yeah, you're not going to take it with you anyway. So just
if you have old rusted basketball hoop or kids' toys or kids' playhouses, and they're kind of like breaking down, get rid of it.
Make your home Instagrammable. I'll always go back to that. Like think
or
about
Pinterest.
Or Pinterest. Think about sitting areas. You want it to look appealing and clean. Hire a professional cleaning company to clean your home when you're getting ready to put it on the market. Do not clean it yourself. Have a company come in, spend the extra money, have them do a deep clean, 2.5 hour cleaning, whatever it takes, so that it smells good, it looks clean. I just had to fix a sliding glass door that just was driving me crazy forever and ever. It's a whole issue.
The wheels are flat.
Oh my God. I sent it to my girls. I go, look, I pushed it with my finger. They're like, oh my God, did you tell Dad? I said, oh yeah, he was here when they showed up, because he wanted to fix it. Like, you've tried fixing it, it's not working. So if you have that going on in your house, freaking hire somebody. If you've got little repairs, right? Just get them done.
Yeah.
They're going to show up on the inspection report, just
100%. And you could maybe even get a pre-inspection, have the home inspector come through and do a quick once over, so they can point out the GFCI that's not working that you didn't realize, or the drain stops in the bathrooms that's not working either. And that could be like a handyman punch list just to get it taken care of, to minimize the things that come up on the home inspection.
Yep, exactly.
I like the whole thing about the curb appeal in the front and taking care of the landscaping is perfect and dead on, and those are things that I recommend. Have a pressure cleaner come in to do the sidewalks and driveway and your front porch, and even the back porch and patio area, because you'd be surprised at how much debris is on there and how much nicer it'll look when they're finished with that. The front door is usually the first and the last thing that buyers see.
Yep.
So get a good coat of paint on there. Look at your outdoor light, because usually it's like a collector for the bugs that are in the neighborhood or on the night. So, clean it out, or better yet, replace it with a brand new light fixture so it looks good.
Yes.
And same thing with your front door. If a lot of us go in through the garage and that front door lock isn't used very often, and as soon as you stick the key in there, it's just a sticky mess. Get some silicone spray in there, or update the locks altogether. And then the one thing on the inside of the house, especially if somebody's living in there, I know, the kitchen is used every day. The bathrooms are used every day. So in the kitchen, try to minimize just 1 or 2 appliances that you do use on the countertops. Otherwise, get them out of there so they'll seem like they're bigger. Pack them, put them in, start packing them up, or put them in the pod. And then in the bathrooms too, the things you use to get ready. If you're living in it, you probably have everything on the vanity itself. Put them in a basket and store them underneath, so that way it's easier to get ready for showings. And probably easier for you to get ready.
Shampoos and body washes and sponges and fluffers and razors and shaving cream and soap. What am I missing here? Scrubbers, loofahs, whatever the heck you have in your shower. For the love of Pete, put them in a basket so we can shove it under something when we have a showing. And for 100%. Photos.
And then the last pet peeve I have, or recommendation for sellers, is they're living in there. If you can open up a closet and you can't see the floor or the wall, like at the top of the shelves, you got to pack up some stuff too, because it's a Jedi mind trick. If a buyer comes in and they open up a closet and they see that it's packed to the gills and they're picking up stuff because it just fell off the shelf, then they're thinking, oh my God, there's no storage here.
Yes.
But if you pull the trick and you empty that closet and minimize what's on there, they'll open it up and see all this space, and they'll just visualize all this space that they can store their stuff in. And, it's a win, because you've already packed and you make your house seem bigger without really doing anything.
Yeah. I have a great topic for next week.
Oh, yeah?
Garage organization.
Boom. Unless you don't have a garage.
Well, carport organization?
But it could work most definitely. I think any type of organization is always helpful in the house, especially if you're getting ready to put your house on the market. You're going to need some help with that too.
Amazon, the Container Store, etc.
Yep, most definitely. Awesome. Well, ladies, I think this has been an excellent episode. And, the thumbnail was, scary, thinking prices are dropping. Definitely was fake news and overreacting, looking for the clickbait, because even though our market is going through a change, it's not coming to a screeching halt, and we're just going through a little bit of adjustment, and it'll be business as usual, like the 2017, 2018, and 2019 market.
That's right.
Yep.
Awesome.
Friends, I will not be on here next week. I'm actually going to a concert. Florida has some awesome concerts.
Rock on. So who are you going to go see?
Oh my gosh, I just drew a blank. Hold on, I'll tell you. Why did I just draw a blank?
I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
Well, as you're looking, I've got Streetlight Manifestos on September, whatever the first Saturday is in September. I'm really looking forward to seeing them. Kind of a low-key band. Not many people know about them, or at least they're not mainstream. And I'm seeing Jack White on September 24th. It's a Wednesday. Thursday, 21st. September 21st. I love seeing concert. Jack Johnson.
You're guys
on a great show.
Nice.
He's got some fantastic music.
I know.
Where's he going to be at? The amphitheater?
In West Palm.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, he does a summer tour usually. It's like he comes through, and there's a few of them that do the summer tours, but Jack Johnson does a lot of them. I've yet to see him, but I do like his music.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's our anniversary next week, so.
Beautiful. Well, happy anniversary. Enjoy the concert. And yeah, I'd rather be there than here. No offense to everybody. I love doing this live and having the conversations, but I like seeing a show too.
You never know where I'll be next week, though. I'm planning some sort of getaway, but I always have this.
Heck yeah. To be continued.
I could jump on real quick while it's going.
Probably not. We'll just tune into your Instagram stories.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Enjoy,
Cool
and we'll
beans.
see everybody next week.
Have a
Sounds
good
good.
night. We'll see you around.
Bye.
Well.